Yay, OBS didn't start recording until I'd already done most of the work. So here's part one of my live stream so that you can see it for reals this time. Okay. There's a lot of people out there using HDZero, and the HDZero goggles save into a format that's .ts, and .ts isn't used by iMovie, DaVinci Resolve. I haven't tried Adobe Premiere. We could try that and see if it will recognize them. That'd be great if it does. But anyway, for everyone who doesn't use or have access to Adobe Premiere, I just do because my wife is an artist and she uses quite a bit of Adobe products for all kinds of things. So I don't even know how to use Adobe Premiere, but I'm just going to try something. Desktop. It says converted, and that's the only ones it sees, and that tells me it doesn't understand. Yeah, all these are mp4, so it doesn't understand the .ts video what is it, encoding. So there's two apps you can use. You can use VLC, which Joshua Bardwell has a video on using it, so you can go watch that if you want to. It's kind of easy. You go to you go to media, convert, save, and here's where I have my two. You just click add. Let's remove these. You click add. You go to where your folder is, and then you find your .ts like this. Actually, let me do the recon. I haven't done these. I'll do it the other way. I used VLC to convert my Firefly video, but not my Recon 35. So let's do this. We'll do that one, and we'll do the other one. And then convert, save. Multiple files connected. We'll append converted. Click start. And here we go. So if we go in this directory, we'll see that there's a file now for where it's converting these to mp4. So it's going to do this one first. And sync is pending because it's sitting there converting it and filling up this. If we refresh, we would see the file size. See, the file size keeps growing. Cool. All right. So we'll let this finish. You can do two at once, but one thing I noticed when you run two different apps that do transcoding at the same time is it really slows down everything, because it's mostly CPU based, I found. So you can see, let's close Premiere so it's not using any CPU. And DaVinci Resolve, we'll close it. I don't want to close it. Okay, so now we'll look at the graph. And we'll see CPU is just pegged at 100%. My GPUs are hitting kind of hard. This is on a laptop too, by the way. And the thing is, on VLC, if you can set it up to preview or show you the video while it's transcoding. If you do that, it plays it back in real time, whereas if you do it this way, it just rips through it as fast as your computer will allow, which is kind of what I'm trying to do here. If you want to watch your video while you're transcoding, it'll play it back in regular speed, and then, you know, if it's 5 minutes long, you've got to wait 5 minutes. This is 10 minutes of video, but it's not going to take 10 minutes because you can see it's going through faster than 1 second at a time. It's doing about 3 or 4 seconds at a time, so it should take 2.5 minutes or so. And when it's done, everything's going to go back to normal here. CPU, GPU, and that actually uses some CPU as well, so I'm going to turn that off. And then the thing I found out, which is probably in part 2 that I'll have to rename my live stream, is Handbrake is kind of cool because it gives you, from what I can tell, a lot more control over your output video. So you have all these tabs here where you can really kind of dive in and change resolution. You can change it to have borders. You can change your final dimensions, your aspect ratio. It's got filters. It's got, the type of encoder that you want to use. You can change it to all these different types of encoders. Some of them, I'll let you read up on them, but H.264 is a really good encoder. And then the other thing is, like, where are you putting it? What's the format that they will accept? You can add subtitles, chapters. Handbrake has been around a long time. I think longer than VLC, but maybe around the same time. I know they've been around a long time. Handbrake was originally built for ripping DVDs. So a lot of the stuff in here is kind of centered around ripping DVDs. So that's where all the chapters and things come in mostly. But another thing is, if you select multiple, so remember, Handbrake came from the DVD world where you'd have all these different chapters. And so sometimes it would rip chapter by chapter, and the chapters wouldn't always be in order because some DVDs would do that to throw off things like Handbrake. And so you could reorder your chapters if you wanted to, and rename them so that when you burn it to a DVD, your own DVD, you could put your own chapter names or whatever. And you could also squeeze them all into just one big chapter. And so that's kind of what it does if you select multiple. So that's one thing I noticed at the end of the part 2 is VLC, when it converts files, converts file 1, closes it, opens the next file, closes it, goes to the next one, converts it, closes it. Handbrake, if you select 2 different video files, which sometimes you want to do this, so one thing about HDZero as well is if it's over a certain size, it'll stop recording that on that file and open a new file. So you'll actually have, say your batteries last longer, then you can store one of those files. You can use Handbrake to reassemble the multiple files into a single file, mp4, that you want to be able to then upload to YouTube or whatever. So it can come in handy, but sometimes you may not want to do that. You may not want to combine and keep them as separate individual recordings. It gives you that option. VLC is still cranking through it. I think I'll end it here, and you can go to part 2 where I started the live stream, where I kind of delve into some of the other parts of this. But sorry about that. First time doing a live stream, you end up with things like this.